Well, I'm definitely towards the back. We'll see how far up the order we can get as we go through all the cars from MCEC Season 6. It just finished, the season just concluded, and now we're going to do a random race with all the cars that were featured, including one additional one, which is what you're seeing here right now. This video is brought to you by my newest YouTube channel, the GTA Car Showroom, aiming to be a complete repository of showcases and info for every GTA car. Click the link in the description to subscribe and browse all the cars that we have so far. Here we go in the Speedo Custom. Speedo Custom technically wasn't part of the main championship of Season 6, but we've included it as the starting car thanks to DiNmiTe for setting up the class. I'll get that out of the way early so I remember. We've included it as the starting car because it was the secondary championship race where I got my victory, and I was very happy about it. My first MCEC race victory in 9 years was in the Speedo Custom. Oh, in the secondary championship on granite. That's been a mess. So might as well include it for the starting car, and then the remaining 24 laps after this one will be all 24 cars that we used in the main championship of MCEC Season 6. We're all going to get all 24 cars in a random order. I'll get to relive the championship that we've just finished. It's funny because I didn't drive all of these. In fact, I didn't drive most of them because I did the secondary championship instead. Alright, in fairness. Oh yeah, I forgot DiNmiTe usually. So we're obviously revisiting the idea that we did for these random moors before the start of the MCEC season. So in January we did random select races for seasons 1 to 5, where we raced all the cars from season 1, all the cars from season 2 in subsequent races and stuff. We're obviously continuing with that with season 6 now that season 6 is finished. And I forgot DiNmiTe does his little animations, so you should see that as we go through to keep track of what we've gotten and when. But GT3 car 4, the Supers class, first up. This was used by the GT3 drivers on Ron Raceway this time. I don't see the animation. Well, you're not going to see it live, are you? Come on! Alright, Astron Custom. This was our GT1 car in the snow round. I was so happy that we got to do a snow round, considering the opportunity was there for the first time ever that we could actually activate snow for a race. We had to do one. Never been a snow round in MCEC. On Frosted Bay, in the SUVs. But yeah, obviously the HSW cars aren't going to have their HSW upgrades on in this race. So the Astron Custom was technically the HSW Astron Custom for the actual race, so it was significantly quicker. But HSW isn't a thing on Project Homecoming. Although it's got some pace on Project Homecoming, the Astron Custom, in a straight line at least. It was outpacing the Infernus there. Firebolt, another one that was in HSW. This was the GT2 car for the final round. Our true one of two true multi-class rounds we did. This was the HSW round that had the FMJ Mark V and then the Tampa GT. So we had 3 cars from 3 different classes in one round. We also had that with the tuners round in round 2. It's nice when we can do that. And we're bringing it back. Season 7 is going to be a thing. I obviously talked about it in the roundup video for Season 6. Oh, it's going to be the final racing event for GTA 5 to cap it all off. Season 7. I'm not going to talk about the whole format. It's going to change up the format significantly, and I'm really excited to see how it goes, but it's only going to be on PS5. But if you're going to get a PS5 for GTA 6 anyway, or you've got an old dormant PlayStation character you can migrate up or something, then all the details are in the Season 6 season roundup video. I mean, yeah, with Rockstar you never know it's true, but I would put money on it on GTA 6 actually coming out in November this time. I don't think they're gonna. Oh, there, Moggy, our GT2 champion on PC, by the way. I'm driving a GT2 car, am I not? Yeah, the Greenwood, the GT2 car for the muscle round. But yeah, I think they'll actually stick to this one. I think GTA 6 will come out this time. I never believed the May release date, if I'm honest. Alright, Baller ST. This was a car I raced. One of the 3 cars that I actually raced in the MCEC. I did my my guest drive, my reserve drive in the snow round in the SUVs in the Baller ST on PS5. Got a podium, which was nice. Oh, that was so laggy. Little bit of time loss. One GT3 car taking out another GT3 car. How can I determine whether or not I have the pace any trials? That's the beauty of the new Season 7 system. It doesn't matter. You're going to get put into a class that has the right pace for you anyway. Another GT3 car, the Cheburek. We're rocking through the GT3s so far. Ooh. Now I see why all the GT3 drivers hated the Cheburek. I did do a little feedback form for MCEC Season 6. And the... it's one hell of a dive. The least liked car for GT3 was the Cheburek, across the board. The least enjoyable tracks were Ron Raceway and Frosted Bay. The least enjoyable car for GT2 was the Cyclone. And I can't think what it was for GT1 actually. I don't think there was a major outlier for GT1. Maybe the Astron. People's favourites. GT1, the Vigero ZX was the GT1 driver's favourite car. GT2, it was... Ooh, what was it? I might remember when I get to it. Oh, the Rapid GTX. It was a Rapid GTX. Tulip M100, another one from the muscle class. The muscle round that we did. This was the GT2 car for that one. The GT3 favourite car, I think it was quite balanced between all of them, apart from the Cheburek. But the Tampa GT was quite high on the list. And the Panther, oh yeah, the Panther actually. The Panther was one of the favourites. That round in general, the sports class round, with the Rapid GTX for GT2 and the Panther for GT3 around Lightwater Valley, which was, I think, the 3rd most enjoyable track for the drivers. That was a generally pretty well-liked round overall. The top two tracks, North Loop was the most enjoyed and Blaine County was second. Lightwater Valley and Granite were third and fourth. It was fun to get a bit of feedback on that, see what people enjoyed directly from the drivers and the participants. Another GT3, the Warner HKR. This did not get many votes for people's enjoyment. This was for the tuners round, and I kind of had to choose this one because I wanted 3 different cars from 3 different classes in the tuners round in round 2. And obviously the Warner HKR is one of the slowest in the tuners class. It's in the sedans class. You know, the tuners class has a lot of sports cars in it, a couple of muscle cars, and then like 1 or 2 coupes and sedans. But the Warner HKR was just basically the pick. And I think that's the, like, so it's quite a challenging car, but it was the only one I could really use for GT3 for that round. And that's what's going to be really nice about Season 7. I can tailor the sort of the GT 7 to 9 race to have easier to drive cars and the GT 1 to 3 race to have harder to drive cars. And it works based on the skill level of all the participants. But yeah, all the details are in that original season review video. Ooh, holy cow. AC Rally, GT2, SUVs. Wait, I've completed the SUV. Oh wow, already. We've completed a round already. Frosted Bay in the snow in the SUVs. The GT2s, I think, were very split on this one. I think this was one of the least liked cars in GT2 actually. Obviously the HSW version in the snow, it had a higher top speed than the GT1 car, but worse in the corners than the GT3. You either loved it or hated it, this one. It was horrible in the corners. So I've had a lot of GT3 cars early on in this race, and GT2s, so I'm hoping that later on in the race, when I start getting some GT1s, I'll be able to make up places. Again, it's a random select, so everybody gets all the same cars by the end of the race, so it is based on, you know, how well you do across the race. There's no luck element in terms of, you know, just getting quicker cars or whatever. Another GT2 with the Coquette D1 from round 1. It does, it all comes together in the end. Oh yeah, we're on Cutting Coroner's GP because we kind of, in the first 5 races of these for season 1 to 5, we used the 5 sort of main tracks that we could. I wanted to do sort of the updated Olympic GP, but the shorter version wasn't ready. And Cutting Coroner's GP was an MCEC track in season 1, so I figured we'd use that for this race, to at least keep it to be a different track than what we used in the first 5 races. Officially a lap down. There's that Rapid GTX. People like the Coquette D1 in GT2, I seem to remember from the forum. Alright, Cyclone. The undisputed most disliked GT2 car. This was very much not enjoyed by the GT2 drivers on Ron Raceway. We had the rain for some of those races as well, which caused havoc and caused the Cyclone to be even worse than it normally is. I had to mix it up a little bit. Didn't want the picks to be too predictable. I'm going to continue to do that in Season 7, where I release the nobody knows the cars at the start of the season. They all get released sort of 48 hours before the race. I think it really made it interesting. A few people mentioned to me how they much preferred it in terms of not having to sweat all weekend on the same car, because they never know what was going to be anyway. So you're not devoting your whole week to trying to practice. Alright, Stratum. Probably the slowest car we're going to get, maybe. This or the Cheburek. Another GT3. Have I done all the GT3s already? It feels like it. I've had so many GT3s so far. No, I haven't had the Panther for the sports round at least. Or the Tampa GT, so I've at least got 2 to go. Definitely quicker than a Cheburek. But yeah, it was fun, the sort of releasing the cars 48 hours beforehand and everybody trying to decide what it was going to be, trying to guess what it was going to be. Nobody really knowing. And then there was always some curveballs as well thrown. Alright. Finally a GT1 car with the Astrali. The HSW version, of course. For round 1 in the Sports Classics. This hadn't even been officially released when we used it. It was only available to GTA Plus members. People had to buy it from other people in the car meet. But yeah, I'm planning to release the cars for the same 48 hours in advance for Season 7. Guess I'll take this opportunity. More than halfway through the race. MCEC pins. Store.Bruffy.com. Get them. Get them while they're hot. You can also get them in a bundle. Get all 3 pins if you don't have them already. In the full Bruffy enamel pin collection. On store.Bruffy.com, including the MCEC version. You can wear it proudly for Season 7 when that comes around in October. Alright, another GT3 in the Tampa GT. This was another sort of Marmite car. Drivers either really enjoyed it or hated the challenge of it. Sorry, the pindle, not the pin bundle. I'm really hoping that a lot of the people in front still have some slow cars to go and I have a bunch of fast cars, because I've just bled positions from the start. I have had a lot of GT3s, but so I think I'm only missing the Panther for the GT3s now. You no way. No way. That's ridiculous, man. Okay, well, I feel like I've gotten all of the GT3s at this point. I can't be certain, but it just feels like it. It feels like I've definitely had 8 of the GT3 cars. I can't think of one that I haven't had yet. Probably one of our quicker GT3 cars. I've got a bunch of GT1s still to go. 9 laps left. But no, we're not including the GT4s and the GT5s from the secondary championship, apart from our starting car. We didn't for seasons 3, 4 and 5 either, so as in the races for seasons 3, 4 and 5. Alright, GT1 for the muscle class. That's the whole muscle class race now I've gotten. I got the Tulip and the Greenwood already. The most liked car from the GT1s. The Pajero ZX HSW, of course. Alright, I need to start making places now. I need to start getting some fast cars. Everybody else gets some slow cars. It all comes together at the end. I need it to start all coming together. It's an easy position though. Dominator GTT. GT2 car for the tuners round. So for tuners we had a sports car for GT1, a muscle car for GT2, and a sedan for GT3. So it was a true multi-class race. GT2s generally quite liked the Dominator GTT, I think. GT2s probably had the best selection of cars throughout, I would say. Across all 8 rounds. At least when it comes to enjoyment of driving. I think they had the absolute nicest to drive as well, probably with the Rapid GTX. Every week I was so jealous of a GT2 car. Yeah, I get that. Apart from the Cyclone, obviously. Alright, Banshee GTS. Finally getting through some GT1s. That's the sports class GT1 car. I mean, obviously we had the HSW version on vanilla GTA, but this Project Homecoming version seems mighty quick on its own. I wonder if the Project Homecoming guys do that with some of the cars that have HSW upgrades. Just program them to be quick, which is totally possible, and why I hate that they add HSW to new cars instead of using it to make old cars more relevant. But I'm not going to open that can of worms again. Right, the Deity GT2 car for sedans. I feel like I've mostly gone slow to fast with the way that I've got the cars in this race. Like, I got most of the GT3s first, and now I'm starting to get most of the GT2s. And I'm finishing up with the majority of the GT1s. DiNmiTe's little animation will probably make that easier to discern. Whether that's actually been the case or not, that's just the way that it feels. Not me practicing in the Deity on LSGP thinking it'd be the GT3 car that week. Yeah, the Stratum was a definite... Hey, straight into the GT1 car for the sedans race. The Stratum was definitely a shock to people, I think, which was nice. It was fun to give that so late in the season. People pretty much thought they had things figured out at that point based on what we'd had and what was left and what could have existed. Still got that FMJ to go, the fastest car that we had throughout the entire season. Again, the HSW version will be faster than what we get here, but there's only 4 laps left. It's crunch time. Get back on the lead lap. There is the FMJ. It's bloody fast in the corners, mind. This was the lap I was waiting for. Can I get back into that top 10? Chasing down the stratum for 11th. Calico, GT1 car for round 2 in the tuners. Chasing down the Tulip M100 in that 10th place. See, this is the thing. It all comes together at the end, so I'm hoping that there's plenty of people up front that now are starting to get some of the slower GT3 cars that I had at the start of the race. There it was, that was 10th, right? No? Oh, that must have... Yeah, it is 10th. There we go. Two laps to go. I've got the Torero XO to go, which is the GT1 car from the Supers round. And what else? Oh, the Rapid GTX. I've got two really quick cars to come. A GT2 and a GT1 car left. Which one am I going to get first? GT2 first, I'm going to say. Rapid GTX first. Nah, other way around. Torero XO was a bit of a... Not many people expected that for the Supers round either. You've got to be kidding me. What was that? Oh, right, okay, well... A single boneheaded, stupid move has cost me the chance to, I don't know, maybe even get a top 5. It looked like it was closing up quite a lot towards the end there. Like, that was egregious. Normally I don't really care about some of these crashes that I get involved in, but that one was just absolutely atrocious. Look at the time I've lost. I was already in front. I've had to use an entire half a lap to get back in front of where I should have been. God damn it. Alright, Rapid GTX, final lap. My favoured GT2 car for the season. Chasing down a Dominator GTT. For what is, looks like it's going to be 7th. Down the inside. Beautiful. It is a very nice car, this one. It handles beautifully. The top 5 are just going around the hairpin now. I think I would have been chasing down that top 5, you know, without that crash. The amount of time I lost. Can I get 6th chasing down the Calico on the final straight? I would have had 6th if it hadn't been for that crash, easily. I'm closing in. Carry the speed. The Calico's going to have the pace. Yeah, the acceleration. Ah, so close to 6th. Oh, that's a shame. I ended up 12 seconds back from 5th. I didn't lose 12 seconds in that crash in the end. So I think the crash... Thanks for the GGs. The crash probably cost me the 6th place. But I don't think it cost me the 5th. The only thing that cost me the 5th was probably the crash and me taking out Moggy and having to wait. But then it was Moggy who I was behind. He was in 5th, so I probably cost him a 3rd, you know. But that's not bad, considering, I mean, Mild started just behind me and finished 3rd. I started quite far back on my own and got into 7th, so it's not a bad little comeback from my starting grid position, I suppose. With a perfect race, might have been fighting for a podium without the crash and the takeout of Moggy. But apart from that, a fun little I mean, we've just gone through the season, so it wasn't really so much of, you know, going through history like it was for the seasons 1 to 5 races where they happened years and years ago. But yeah, It was fun to revisit all the cars and have them be a bit more fresh as well.